Hey everybody, back from a couple of car shows with the E30 M3 and gonna break the 1M out finally for a little bit of driving this season, but I have a couple hours until I have to be where I'm going, so in that time I'm gonna work on the 87 IS just a little bit. The main thing I'm planning to do today is to gut an airflow meter. It's not gonna be this one. This is a genuine 2.5 liter, so Motronic 1.1 AFM. I'm going to be gutting an ETA Motronic 1.0 airflow meter, which has a different range to it. Nobody cares about because nobody runs the 2.7. But the air temperature sensor in this has the same resistance, so it is compatible with the Megasquirt I'm using, and I want to run a factory airbox and still make it look good. So my plan is to gut this bad boy. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to entail yet, but I'm guessing I'll be having to cut open this sealant and pry this thing apart. So I really would like to get rid of this little flapper door, but I do need to maintain this little probe right there. All right, so everything actually looks pretty good in here. There's obviously some calibration you can do in the AFM, but I'm not interested in any of that. I am only interested in these two pins, which go to the thermistor and the bottom. So I'm going to start by pulling that board out of there, pulling this entire assembly out, pulling the little stop out here, and we'll see where we can get after that. All right, so the board actually just free floats. There's actually two contacts that just sit right on the board there. Thermistor is still safe and sound. I opted to just break off the contact finger because I don't really care. Same 7mm that takes the little clamp out. It's the same 7mm. There's the screw right there. Same 7mm that loosens this. The wiper arm's in good shape, so keep that with the board. And then this little clock spring here, just get your screwdriver way under the middle and pry up gently, wiggling back and forth, and it seems to come right out. Now we've got a snap ring, so I'm going to get my pliers out and see if I can get that pulled. Alright, so I drilled out the two little screws right there, and then here is the actual flap door that's in the AFM. Ball bearings. Just take a hammer, smack on the shaft, and eventually it'll pop the bottom off, which is just held in with some silicone. You will have to replace that if you want it to seal properly, which of course I do. You're going to need to clean this off too, though. You can leave the flap door in, potentially, but you're not going to get the same, throughput that you will if you leave, if you take it out. You can see here, that's actually a pretty good total volume. I may try to break out that little square piece on the left. I probably will. Looks like I have a fair bit of restriction there. So either way, I'm planning to just silicone around the top too. I'm not going to worry about the little bearing hole, because this whole chamber will just stay under vacuum, and that's totally fine. So there we have it. All sealed back up top and bottom. I'm not going to deal with that right now. Maybe I will someday, but that's still a pretty open orifice, so I'm happy enough with that. I'm just going to let it set up a little bit, and then we will throw it on an airbox, throw it in the car in place of this one, and we'll check in the Megasquirt just to make sure everything's reading correctly temperature-wise. And after that, this thing needs a valve adjustment, but that's pretty much it until it's good. I will say, this hose is going to have to get rerouted. The airbox sits here. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I think it's just because this was an early car and now it's got a late model cooling system. So I'm gonna have to do some bendy on those brake lines just to get it out of the way enough to get the hose up through here so I can sit under the airbox. And I was noticing that this is actually an E28, I think, reservoir, so I might end up swapping this out for the proper E30 one, since the hose actually sticks straight out, not at an angle here. So we'll figure that out, but yeah, first things first, I'm gonna let the epoxy, RTV, whatever, set up just a little bit. We'll get this thing up to temperature once it's all together so we can do the valve adjustment correctly. But yeah, this car is getting real close to good. So I'm hoping the original owner comes and buys it back from me. Now that is what an M20 sounds like with a proper valve adjustment. Just a thing of beauty. Glove box is sure noisy on this car. And the 293 gears with the overdrive transmission. It's an interesting combination. I bet this thing's actually pretty fuel efficient though. It actually feels a little lean up top. I might have to plug the laptop back in and do a little bit more tuning, but pulls pretty good from 4 to 6. It's got a little bit more intake honk than a stock car, with that gutted airflow meter. Drives nice. The clunk noises from the laptop and the glove box are not my favorite, but that's all fixable. It's just like the E46 wagon. Like if I didn't have an even better example of a chassis, or I guess a body style of a BMW, I would definitely keep this one. I mean, this car has turned out just so nice. It's come a long way from that American bumper, completely wallered out S50 car that I bought from the original owner in 2020. It's been a lot of work. I'm sure I've spent more money than I'd care to even think about on doing it up, but man, if that isn't just a nice car now. I think other than having to put an air filter in the box, the air box, and just mounting the Megasquirt 2 P&P in the glove box, this thing is ready to go. So if you guys know anyone looking for an 87 IS, I'll be looking for 16 grand to friends, but like probably 17 to 18 for normies. I don't know. Hit me up on ovalbore.com if you know of anyone.